Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
We need if we can survive! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, back at it for a very special episode of In The Kliq. And joining me right now is someone that I have been a fan of for many years. I'm so excited to be talking to the hardcore legend, pro wrestling icon, but most importantly, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, WWE Hall of Famer, Mick Foley. How's it going, Mick?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for making the time to talk to me.
Oh, dude, like I said, I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan for obvious reasons. You were part of my childhood, my teenage years, and obviously now my adult years. So needless to say, this is such an honor. But yeah, let's get the plugs out of the way. So you're out on the road right now doing the Nice Day Tour with Mick Foley. That's coming to the Bay Area. It's going to be at the San Jose Improv on Tuesday, May 3rd. At 8 p.m. and you can get tickets on your website, realmickfoley.com, but also you can go to the San Jose Improv website, improv.com/San Jose. So, Mick, I'm just kind of curious about this one-man show. What can fans expect? I know you've been on the road for many years performing, and I know at one point you had there was a performance that was on the WWE Network not too long ago. But, what can fans kind of expect from this performance?
Yeah, did you say realmickfoley.com or mickfoley.com?
Realmickfoley.com.
Wow, all right. Thanks. Yeah. Well, this tour was supposed to be a 20th anniversary of the book, Have a Nice Day. Mm-hmm. And then I did about a dozen shows, then the pandemic hit. And so it's, it's stories from my career. I shuffle them around a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing when I get to San Jose. But if somebody out there read the book and it made them laugh, then I will. The great thing about performing is you get to do the stories. You get to do them until you get them right, and you get to throw a little exaggeration in there for listening pleasure.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm not adverse to that.
Okay, I look forward to that. Just I've been seeing, following you along on social media at Real Mick Foley on Twitter, Instagram. Looks like you're having a lot of fun. I know you're in Eureka the last couple days, and so if I remember correctly, I think in a previous interview you said you're not a big fan of flying. So have you been driving across the whole country?
Yeah, I have. I did fly home. I flew home for Easter, and then I got rented a car in Tucson. Okay. And since then, I've gone from Tucson to Phoenix to I'm sorry. I did fly up to Seattle.
Okay.
And now I'm going down the entire coast: Seattle, Portland, Eureka, Sacramento, San Jose. Then we have 3 events in Southern California. So I do. What a beautiful part of the country. Mm-hmm. This is really enjoying it very much.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm sure it's very much, reminds you of your days on the road when you were a full-time wrestler. So I'm just kind of curious, how do you kind of keep yourself occupied on these long drives?
Well, you have the music going, and
okay.
And it's a good time to think, and you try to craft your stories and see how you can make little improvements along the way. So that's never been a problem for me. Killing time on the road has never been a problem.
Okay, no, that's awesome here. So, unfortunately, I do kind of want to get your thoughts on some sad news. So, a couple days ago, NXT had about, I believe, 10 releases, and I saw you, tweeting about Dakota Kai, who was one of them. Unfortunately, Malcolm Bivens, Harlan, Dexter Lumis, and a bunch of other names. So, just kind of your thoughts on, all these latest set of releases from NXT. Maybe any words of wisdom, advice for anyone who've been released, but just your overall thoughts.
Well, the advice is just to keep plugging ahead. Mr. McMahon has a great track record of there are some people he lets go who go on to be bigger stars than they were with him. So I would tell them to keep their heads up. I really enjoyed Dexter Lumis. I enjoy the one guy looked like a mini Brock Lesnar.
Harlan.
Looked like he had a lot of potential. Dakota Kai is a head scratcher, but ultimately that decision is not up to me. And I would just advise the talent to just keep going. There's other places to go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the business is really thriving right now with a lot of options. So I hope all of them jump back on their feet very quickly. But, also, just speaking of people who've been successful away from WWE, FTR, and I saw you tweeted out some big news. You're going to be working with FTR in a couple of weeks. So how'd that kind of come together?
Well, FTR are huge fans of Bret Hart's. And, rumor is that Mr. McMahon was afraid he was going to lose Bret.
Yep.
And so they quietly, the word was they quietly inked a lucrative deal, something along those lines. And so I jokingly said, hey, Cash and Dash, I tagged them in, you guys want to start mentioning me on here and tag Vince McMahon in? And then next thing I know, 2 days later, an offer comes in for me to manage those guys.
Nice.
And so I was I looked at the logistics. I was I think I can do this. So it's something that's fun for wrestling fans.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun for me and the guys in the ring. So just having a little fun.
Okay, sweet. So is this a one-time thing, or is you hope this maybe could turn into...
Well, you never know, Baby Huey. One never can tell.
Yes, absolutely. It is pro wrestling after all. Never say never. But also, over the last week or two, a lot of people have been celebrating Randy Orton's 20th anniversary with WWE. This past Monday night on Raw, he gave you a huge shout out during his, his celebration speech, I guess you could say. Your thoughts on just what he said about you this past Monday on Raw. And, he says because of you, he became the legend killer. So just your thoughts on what he said about you this week.
Yeah, that was really nice. Really nice of him. My daughter was the one who let me know. Honestly, I was watching the NBA playoffs. I love Raw, but, I get into the playoffs too. And one of my kids is a huge NBA fan. So I got a text from my daughter saying that Randy Orton just said really nice things. So we went back and watched it on the DVR, and it was super nice. And it meant a lot to me that it meant a lot to her. So that was very thoughtful of him.
That's very cool. And, it's really interesting over the last couple of weeks. A lot of people have been breaking down Randy Orton's career, and it's been this great debate online, Randy Orton's place on the all greats list. And, from your perspective, why is Randy Orton one of the all-time greats?
Well, because he's performed at such a high level for such a long time. He's found ways to tweak his image before the audience realized he needed tweaking. Stayed one step ahead of the curve and had, great matches with so many different opponents over such a long time.
Yeah, and I saw you post on Instagram that you said your match with Randy Orton at Backlash 2004 was the best match of your career. So can you kind of elaborate why that is?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, it was a great match. It stands the test of time. It was wild. It was crazy. It was everything it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'd come back at WrestleMania. I teamed up with The Rock after a 4-year absence where I had not wrestled. And I just felt like I came up a little short. And so I had a second chance to make that great impression. And I thought that night in Edmonton we did.
Yeah, no, like I was rewatching it the other day and just like goosebumps. It just took me back, 18 years ago. Such a great match. I encourage everyone watching on Peacock. It's good stuff there. But I do have to kind of get your thoughts. So last month I went out to Dallas, Texas to cover WrestleMania. I did all the events. I went to the Hall of Fame ceremony. I was there in person to watch Undertaker's speech, Vader get in. So just kind of a two-parter here. Undertaker had his speech. Vince McMahon inducted him. He ran off a list of names. He mentioned you there, Vince McMahon personally. Undertaker, he did his speech, and he was more or less referencing a lot of the guys from the BSK crew and whatnot. He didn't necessarily mention you, and I know your daughter tweeted about it. And even I was sitting there in the arena and be like, hey, like, why is Undertaker not maybe referencing more of your legendary matches with you? So just kind of your thoughts on, Taker's speech from that night.
Well, listen, Baby Huey, I forgot to mention my wife during my speech, so I'm not one to lecture anybody about who they should and should not include in their speech. I wasn't out there in those formative years, and, his was more about, friendship and support. And, we had a great rivalry, but he didn't, he didn't mention Rock or Austin, and, he and Austin had some classics as well. So if I'm not hurt, no one can be hurt on behalf of me.
Gotcha. Okay, no, great. No, I'm glad to hear that. But also, hey, Vader finally got into the Hall of Fame. We know about your history with Vader, and for me sitting there, it was just really cool to see, his son and wife be part of the induction and just accepting, on his behalf. So, and I know you've posted on your social medias your thoughts about Vader. So, for anyone who hasn't seen it, but just what it meant for you to see Vader get into the Hall of Fame finally.
Well, it meant a lot to me because I knew how much it meant to him when he was alive. And, he's got a son who idolizes his dad. And, so I always thought he was the most glaring omission. Mm-hmm. And now he is in his rightful place.
Yeah, no, I was like, for me, it was such an honor just to be there in person for that. So that it was just so cool. I grew up loving Vader as well. But, also from WrestleMania weekend, a lot came from that. Night number 2, we saw Triple H come out to the ring, officially leave his boots in the ring, symbolizing, he is retiring. He's officially done with in-ring competition. We know about his health issues as of late. So, and we know about your legendary matches with Triple H. So just your thoughts on Triple H retiring finally.
Oh, man. Yeah, what an amazing career. Even after he finished full-time wrestling, he came back and had classic matches on the grandest stage of them all. And he will always be involved in wrestling in WWE in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I'm very much. It was really cool to see him come out there and officially say goodbye to the WWE universe. But also from night number 2, we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin make the surprise return, try to give a stunner to Vince McMahon. Did not go too well, and we saw your reaction of that stunner. So, I mean, like from your perspective, man, like what happened there? Why was it so bad?
It was everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Wrestling's all about timing, and the timing was a little off. Let's just be thankful that it was Vince taking the worst stunner in the world instead of doing the worst Iron Lotus, or else Steve's head might not be with us.
Exactly. I know that's the thing. Was like I was sitting there, like, oh my God, what's going on here? And I mean, I'm glad. Steve had a big laugh on his face afterwards. So, it was still entertaining nonetheless. But, also from that weekend, we saw Cody Rhodes officially re-sign with WWE. And, your thoughts on just kind of like Cody Rhodes' run over the last 6 years, kind of reinventing himself and, making that decision to return to WWE.
Well, I'm a big fan of anyone who can go out there and prove their worth on the open market, come back with a better position and better payoff. That's what being a wrestler is all about. Being on the open market, proving your worth, those are good things. So Cody thought he was capable of more than WWE had for him, 5-6 years ago. So he left. He came back as a much bigger star. So that's a success story.
Yeah, I was rewatching your A&E biography a couple nights ago, and I see some parallels with you. You had your initial run with WCW. You left, went Japan, came back to WCW, then ECW, then WWE. We know all about that history. So I definitely see that the importance of that, as far as, if you're kind of stagnant in one spot, go somewhere else, prove your worth, and come back a bigger star. So that's really cool to hear you talk about that. But another TV show I see you make a lot of appearances on, Dark Side of the Ring. Love that show. I haven't seen any really updates from them about like a season 4. Do you have any updates or any idea what's going on with them about what's next for that show?
I do not. I've not. I know they have another project coming. I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about it.
Okay.
Wrestling project, but as far as Dark Side of the Ring, I don't really know.
Well, fingers crossed we get an announcement soon about the status of Dark Side of the Ring. Hey, Mick, I know you have a busy schedule and need to hit the road. Thank you for your time. I encourage everyone to go to the San Jose Improv this Tuesday, May 3rd at 8 p.m. to see the Nice Day Tour with Mick Foley. For tickets and more info, go to his website, realmickfoley.com, and also improv.com/San Jose. Mick, just want to thank you for all the years of entertainment. Thank you for the interview, and good luck with the rest of the tour.
Hey, thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Thanks, Mick. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
There you have it. Thank you again to the hardcore legend, Mick Foley, for being on the show. Like I said at the top of the interview, go see the Nice Day Tour with Mick Foley at the San Jose Improv this Tuesday, May 3rd at 8 p.m. For tickets and more info, go to his website, realmickfoley.com, and also improv.com/San Jose. And of all the links at 1077thebone.com as well. You can follow Mick Foley on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at realmickfoley. All right, Kliqsters, let's go home now. Remember to subscribe to In The Kliq on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're also on a ton of other major podcast platforms. Help the show out by rating, reviewing, leave a comment, and share the podcast. Subscribe to In The Kliq's YouTube page, watch the videos, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Please follow In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for @In The Kliq. Email us at intthekliq@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for tuning in and for all the support. And that's the bottom line, because Huey said so.